Hello. Can I call you Ome? Hi, Ome. I hope you're doing okay. If you'd prefer a different name, let me know. Okay. Let us continue. Excuse me. I have something to say before the meeting starts. They all knew immediately that I was going to say something about Satoko. I guess they weren't just old for show. Oh, Keiichi-kun. Today's our final meeting before the festival, so can you bring up your personal issue later? I ignored him and continued talking. If you have something to say, just tell me directly. Don't go through Mion or Chie-sensei. I don't like it when people are so indirect. Let's talk face to face. Everyone went quiet. Nobody there wanted to be involved in a conversation about the Hojo family. Everyone here knows that Satoko Hojo is practically being confined by her uncle and suffering at his hands. Well, I don't care that you're not proactive about helping her. I'm sure that some of you don't want any trouble. But we're different. Satoko is our friend. We're fighting as hard as we can to save our friend from danger. However, Keiichi-kun, we're aware of all that. All we're saying is that you've done enough to the consultation center by now. Is there a problem if we continue our appeal? Of course there is. It's a big problem too. Someone with a stern voice spoke out to me. I'd gotten under their skin. Then what is the problem? Can you explain it so a child like me can understand? The damn conflict ended ages ago. The age of banding together and storming public offices is over. The subject wasn't even Satoko anymore. All they had to offer was a bunch of excuses. I'm not asking about your past, and the damn conflict has nothing to do with this. This is my war. So if you're going to partake in my war, then let's make it clear if you're my enemy or my ally. Which is it? Are you my allies or my enemies? Mutter, 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 mutter. Listen to the things that come out of this boy's mouth. Young people these days don't know how to be polite. The whole room lit up and started filling with the smell of gunpowder. However, none of my allies let themselves get swept up in the commotion and maintained their harsh stares. Those expressions made me feel as though I had a million supporters behind me. I was standing in front only as their representative. It wasn't my fight alone. This was everyone's fight. Because of that realization, the fierce looks the old people were giving me didn't intimidate me at all. Keiichi-kun, this is not about us being your enemy or not. Our village fought with these officials during the dam conflict. However, I do understand that this has nothing to do with that. The dam conflict is a thing of the past. I don't care what you thought about that. I'm talking about me, my friends, and Satoko. I never asked you about the damn conflict. Ever thought of getting your ears checked, old man? Why, you? How could you talk to your elders like that? You disrespectful little brat! I'd like to have a word with your parents. My dad, standing behind me, gave an apologetic and bitter smile. Pardon me. I'm his father, you see. You're his father? How could you raise him like this? I guess I'm not a very good parent. I'm not sure if I raised Keiichi the way I was supposed to. My dad paused. In the next moment, however, his expression changed to a glare. However, a single man known as Keiichi Maebara is standing here before all these faces to voice his appeal about something about this doesn't make any sense. I don't care if he's my son or not. He's only making his assertion as a man. So I don't think there's really any reason to be talking to me here. Silence filled the room as the old people sat there with their mouths agape. Ichi-san broke that silence with laughter. You've got plenty of pride, don't you?
My name is Rena Ryugu. Can I ask something? I don't understand the logic of how the dam conflict being over becomes a reason we shouldn't make our appeal to the Child Consultation Center. Would you explain that to us in detail?
Rena's voice remained perfectly level, as though the matter didn't concern her. However, I could see the fury in her eyes. I was probably the only one who noticed that fury. The old people seemed like they'd rather deal with her than me. Reina-chan, this village has no reason to fight with the government now that the dam conflict is over. During that time, we did fight them, true. But after the conflict was over, that's water under the bridge. So our village re-established relations with the government. Hinamizawa is not an individual country. We're just a small village in Japan. The government is taking care of us. That's why we need to try and get along with them.
You're right. It is important for a village to have a good relationship with the government.
Listen to Reina-chan. She understands us at least. Mayabara's boy ought to learn from her. I heard little bits and pieces from the noise of the crowd. Yeah, that's definitely true. Hinamizawa has been trying to fix its relationship with the government ever since the dam conflict ended. Exactly, just like Mion-chan said. The old men cheered. However, Shion was the next to open her mouth. That's why the town council and the government officials are best friends now. In fact, 2 officials always come along on the town council's annual hot spring trip. They get paid to participate too. The trip itself is mostly paid for with tax money, isn't it? Oh, and I know so many other things. Like the donations for the New Year and end-of-year parties, as well as the vast financial aid the town council receives for festivities. The upcoming Watanagashi is one of them. The government is putting millions of yen into subsidies and aid. They're the ones who pretty much pay for the whole festival. Ever since the conflict ended, the festival's been getting bigger and bigger. That's because we're receiving money from government officials. So if we get in trouble with them, we might not be able to hold a festival next year. And that's why Hinamizawa keeps kissing their butts. Isn't that right, Uncle? Shh! Shion-chan. How do you know all of that? I switch places with my sis sometimes. What the hell? That's a ridiculous story. I still don't understand why you're against what we're trying to do. Rena, will you sum this up for me? What are they saying?
Well, basically, they're colluding with the government officials so they can't risk upsetting them.
The whole room went into a panic after Rena summed it up so simply. Some of them were ashamed that we hit the nail on the head. Some of them were enraged by our ignorance. And some of them were simply angry about our disrespectful attitudes. All of them combined to throw the room into a chaos of chattering and stomping. Be quiet! Be quiet! They all settled down after Kimiyoshi-san raised his voice. By the time they quieted, the mayor had a terrible look on his face. Keiichi-kun, the relationship between the town council and the government officials has nothing to do with this. You're just sidestepping the issue yourself. There's no point in mixing the two up together. Listen, we won our battle against the dam project, but we're all labeled as a nest of troublemakers. And yes, we were taking advantage of that image during the conflict. However, now that the conflict is over, that image is working against us badly. We need to try and repair it. Otherwise, this village will have no future. Do you understand? It's not just about being your enemy. It's much deeper than that. In other words, you're saying that if Kechan rouses everyone to action, then the friendly atmosphere we've developed will be ruined. The old people nodded as Mion spoke. They were assuming that Mion was on their side.
Mi-chan, what do you mean by the friendly atmosphere? Does that mean that we shouldn't seek help for a poor, innocent girl who's being abused?
They're trying to say that the Child Consultation Center is doing their job already, so they want us to stop interfering. Given their position, the officials can't say leave us alone that strongly. So they're asking our village to deal with the matter for them, since they're granting us a lot of subsidies. Oh, so what you're saying is that the town council is the government's lapdog. Hey, you! Watch what you're saying. Be a little more respectful, why don't you? Why don't you watch what you're saying? I hope you're not refusing to help her just because Satoko's the daughter of the Hojo family. That's not it. We're not saying anything about Satoko-chan. We're just telling you to take a look at the bigger picture and show some more restraint in your appeals. The Child Consultation Center isn't ignoring you. I'm sure they've taken your huge protest into account. They already understand your point. Just saying that you're carrying this way too far.
Keiichi-kun, I just saw something really interesting. See? Look at what's in the picture frame over there.
Rena pointed at the wall, and everyone followed the direction of her finger. There were very many different picture frames all over the walls of the assembly hall. They mostly had to do with the dam conflict and were usually about glorifying the Onikafuchi Guardians. Rena was pointing at a framed article. Kimiyoshi-san wrote it way back when he was the leader of the Guardians during the dam conflict.
Look at the middle portion there. We attempted peaceful negotiation, but the government and their marionette, the president of the electric company, declined. They've trampled on our village's democratic movement and our native land with indescribable atrocities. Meep. That's what Kimiyoshi wrote for the dam conflict memorial. He wrote the same thing on the monument, too.
Everyone knew why Rena had brought that up. I could hear them all gulping. They attempted to negotiate peacefully with the government and its marionette, the electric company. What's this? Are you sure they don't mean the Hinamizawa Town Council instead of the electric company? Still, marionette is a difficult term. Do you think the people understand what that means? Could someone explain it to me? A marionette is like a puppet. It means that while they're supposed to be an independent organization, they're actually being controlled as though they're dancing on strings. Oh, that sounds like the perfect word to describe Hinamizawa right now. Yeah, that is perfect. What are you saying? We're not their marionette. We're just trying to cooperate with them. Calling us a puppet is just splitting hairs. But that's what you just stated. You clearly told us that you want us to stop, not because of Satoko, but for the sake of the village. You said there's an issue because the village needs to maintain a friendly relationship with the government. Don't tell me that you didn't say exactly that. You did say it, didn't you?
I heard him. He said it had nothing to do with Satoko-chan.
Mion, I thought there was a saying in this village. Something about how the whole village comes together for one villager? If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. If there are 2, 4 would do so. If there are 8, 16 would fight back. If there's 1,000, the whole village should stand up and fight. If one person is abused, the whole village is abused. We all work together for that one villager. That's the unity of the Guardians. The unity of the Guardians is stronger than rock. That's what their leader said back in the day. Ugh. Mayor Kimiyoshi used to be the head of the Onikafuchi Guardians. He crossed his arms and started to groan. There were many things he wanted to say, but he knew that none of them would make him look good. And so he continued to stay silent. When I moved here, Mion and Shion told me the valiant story of the dam conflict. But that unity didn't start just a few years ago when the dam conflict happened. I believe those traditions have been here for over 40 years, ever since Japan lost the war. That's why I really respect those who fostered the unity here since that era, and I find them incredible. And more than anything, I'm impressed by the courage of the Onikafuchi Guardians displayed here in this picture frame. The government tried to pull many dirty tricks to submerge the village under the water, but the Guardians thwarted every one of them. Because of the efforts of those men, Hinamizawa is still here today. If they hadn't done anything, we'd be at the bottom of a lake right now. So I'm grateful that this village still exists, with its proud unity and beautiful scenery. I'm proud to call myself a resident of Hinamizawa. That's right, someone shouted. It wasn't one of my friends. It was one of the elderly villagers. That's why we fight. We fight because we all live together in this village. If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. If there are 2, 4 would do so. If there are 8, 16 would fight back. If there's 1,000, the whole village should stand up and fight. If one person is abused, the whole village is abused. Get together for one villager. That's the unity of the Guardians. Satoko Hojo is one of us. You all know how horrible her uncle is. You all know that we can't leave her alone with him for a whole month. We need to save her from her uncle right this minute. We need the power of the Guardians one more time. We need the spirits of the Guardians to reunite again. Rena and Mion applauded, and the applause quickly spread to everyone. I saw smiles creeping across the faces of the old people. However, they quickly wiped away those smiles and started discussing with their neighbors. Keiichi-kun is right. It's not like Hinamizawa has to obey the government all the time. But the damn conflict is over now. The government officials are taking care of us too. I wasn't aware of that. Are they really supporting us that much? Well, on a personal level, I agree with what that Maebara boy is saying. I can't approve of how the town council is operating. Keiichi-kun is right. The village can't put pressure on him just because the government is telling us to do so. Mr. Mayor, we might not be able to support Keiichi-kun, but I also don't think we have the right to tell him to stop. I don't like this Maebara boy's attitude. He's way too disrespectful. You think you could get away with talking to us like that? 3 scary old guys came up to yell at me. I raised my own voice and yelled right back in their faces. It's not about my attitude. It's about the soul of this village. Get out of here if you don't have the courage to stand up for one innocent villager. How dare you speak to me that way? Thwack. The big old guy smacked me upside the head. What do you think you're doing? Thwack. I hit him right back and the room went into a panic again. Oh my gosh. Rena approached us. I thought she'd come to stop me, but she suddenly hit the old guy in the head too. What? What are you doing? Don't think you could get away with this just because you're a girl! He thwacked Rena upside the head. However, Rena talked back to him with a firm look in her eyes.
If one comes at you, 2 should fight back. Isn't that the spirit of Hinamizawa?
Since you hit Rena-san, 4 of us need to retaliate. Let me in on this. Keiichi, your father's going to fight too. Everything you've said is right. If they're going to try and stop you with violence, I won't turn a blind eye to that. That is wild.
There are 3 people blocking Keiichi's way. We need 6 people to fight them.
Rika-chama! I'm impressed to see that courage of yours, Rika-chama. Let me in too. I too will be taking his side. Chie-sensei stood up. I thought she had given up under all the pressure. I was almost going to neglect my student. I prioritized myself, even though I thought I'd do anything for them. I'm ashamed to call myself a teacher. Wearing a fierce expression, she stared at the mayor. That was her answer to the pressure he tried to put on her. Chie-sensei, I think that I overstepped my bounds as an educator. However, what Maebara-kun is doing is the right thing. As an educator, I have to acknowledge the fact that he's doing something right. I can no longer tell him to stop. If I have your support, Chie-sensei, then I have nothing to fear. Let me ask you people one more time. Is it more important to stay cozy with the officials than it is to save the life of one poor innocent villager? You don't even need to ask them, Kei-chan. This is no ordinary assembly hall. This used to be the headquarters of the Onigafuchi Guardians. The people here were all members of the Guardians once. Nobody without their spirit would ever come to a place like this. Mion-chan. Mr. Mayor, Kei-chan's actions are embodying the spirit of Hinamizawa. Wow, I cannot read today. The way he's trying to fight without fear is exactly what the Onigafuchi Guardians were doing. I think it's shameful for this town council to tell him to stop. If you're still going to ask him to back off, I'm going to smash all of these pictures on the wall and set fire to the flag of the Guardians. While the mayor did nothing but moan, someone else raised his voice. I'm going to support Maebara-kun. He may be disrespectful, but he has the right spirit. I agree. It's pathetic the way we're colluding with these government officials. Keiichi-kun, don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Keep on fighting. Don't give in to the pressure. The assembly hall instantly filled with a great round of applause. Maebara-kun, tell us what's going on so far. Very well. On the day Satoko was kidnapped by your uncle, Chie-sensei visited her house. However, he refused to let Chie see her, and it was obvious that something unusual was going on. Chie-sensei called the Child Consultation Center right after that. That night, a social worker visited her house. However, they determined that there was no abuse going on, and they put her case on hold. This might be a normal way to handle the situation, but they don't know how dangerous that uncle is. For that reason, the 5 of us went to the Child Consultation Center to let them know how urgent it was that she be rescued.
They said that they'd take that into consideration, but they still didn't take action after that. We thought 5 of us was not enough, so the next day we went there along with more than 20 of our classmates.
You took the whole class. Ketchan gave a very moving speech. He told them that they had to save their friend and not abandon her. If he was here during the dam conflict, I'm sure his charisma could have resolved it a year earlier. Ha 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 ha. We all know too well how spirited this lad is. The consultation center was still not willing to listen to us on the second day. We made almost no progress. All they told us was that they were working on it. No, Keiichi-kun. You did make progress. They were so intimidated they asked someone from the local government to check on our town council. The fact that they tried to pressure us to stop meant that what you did was working. You made progress. I see. I guess you could look at it like that. If they weren't scared of us, they wouldn't have acted that way. On the 3rd day, we called all our friends and gathered 60 people. This time, we got to meet the head of the office. He listened to us, but he didn't say what their decision would be. Keiichi-kun, to tell you the truth, at that point, the council had already spoken to the officials and had made our decision to stop you. After the Child Consultation Center confirmed that the whole village wasn't involved in the protest, they decided to just ignore your appeal. That's what I thought. I could feel that from the way the head of the office treated us. It was obvious that they were just trying to get it over with.
We're planning to go there tomorrow too, but I wonder if they'll even pretend to listen. They might not even let us in because they think the village is pressuring us to stop.
Yeah, they think that the village is on their side.
The village needs to publicly announce that they're supporting Keiichi.
I agree. Otherwise, they definitely won't listen to us again. We should do that. We should tell them that Hinamizawa is not going to stop Mayabara-kun from what he's doing. Personally, I don't want to complain about Keiichi-kun's actions. However, it is complicated when I think about it from the town council's point of view. Even if we tell them that we're not on either side, they'll think that we're on his side. That's tantamount to picking a fight with them. But I still have to respect the opinion of the council, too. I can't just decide this on my own. I need to get approval from all the council members. Most of them are here right now. So you say, but... Let's just be honest here. You're afraid that there are some among you who are against saving the daughter of the Hojo family, aren't you? The whole room sunk into silence. That was the heart of the matter. Everyone thinks the damn conflict is over. You all told us that a few minutes ago. You also think there's no need to discriminate against the Hojo family now that everything is said and done. However, you're still afraid of her family. You're afraid that you'll be badmouthed if you interact with the Hojo family.
Satoko-chan's parents were indeed the leaders of the evacuation supporters. But what crime did Satoko-chan herself commit?
Personally, I don't have anything against her. But other people do. I don't have anything against her either. The conflict is over and her parents also passed away. I don't hate her either. But I know there are some people who still do, yeah. Let me ask you this. If you hate Satoko, please raise your hand. I'm sure no one will. Yet you all still believe that interacting with her will make others speak ill of you. However, no one is going to. There's nobody like that. No, that can't be true. There's one person at least. Then tell me who it is. Tell me who told you directly that they hate Satoko. The room fell silent again. It had become obvious that they were all avoiding Satoko because of a huge misunderstanding. The Child Consultation Center won't do anything no matter what we do. They're convinced that the town council is on their side. We won't be able to fight until the council makes it clear that they're not supporting them.
Kimiyoshi, by any chance, do you need approval from someone?
Ouch. You're right on the money with that one. The mayor forced out a smile. I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about, but she must have hit the nail on the head. Who could it be, though? Who was that someone? If I could persuade them, the village would end up supporting us. Oh, surely it's Oryou, right? Are you talking about my hag of a grandmother? The Kimiyoshi family has forgiven the Hojo family. The Furute family has done the same, right?
Meep. I'm one of the leaders of the 3 families, too.
Hinamizawa has 3 powerful families who make all decisions for the village. That's been a tradition since the I can't read. That's been a tradition since the time of Onikafuchi village. It's kind of an old tradition, but this was a road we couldn't avoid. So all we need is approval from the Sonozaki family. I've heard that they have the most power among the 3. Everyone knew that, but it was taboo to speak it. It's something only I could say, since I didn't have the ties they did.
If we could persuade Mii-chan's grandmother, will the town council support us?
What do you think, Mion-chan? I don't want to fight with Granny. But if she's standing between Satoko and safety, I'll have to. I won't be fighting as the next head of the family. I'll be fighting as Satoko's friend. Kimiyoshi-san, please promise. If we persuade Mion's grandmother, will we have the council's support? Of course. No one would complain if it was the decision of the 3 families. Let me get this straight. You're all refusing to help because you're afraid of Mion's grandmother, right? You're all grown adults. Good grief! That's what you say. But isn't Oryou-san terrifying?
That's not true. I know Mii-chan's grandmother very well. Sure, she has a scary side, but she's not that bad. Kichi-kun is scarier than her when he's angry.
Yeah, and Rana's even scarier than me. Alright, I'm going to persuade Mion's grandmother. Support us when we succeed. Actually, don't just quietly support us either. I'm expecting you guys to take action too. What do you mean by that? We want the Onikafuchi Guardians to reunite. Are you going to let us kids do all the protesting? You want us to protest too? We can't do that. We should do that. We're going to tell those officials that we're going to fight against them. We need to do everything we can. If we're going to support Keiichi-kun on behalf of the whole village, we need to make things clear to them. We have to support these kids if we're going to be on their side. Once we decide to do that, it's no longer just Maebara-kun's fight. It'll be the village's fight too. In that case, you should be our leader, Kimiyoshi-san. There's no way the mayor shouldn't participate in the protest. Alright, I got it already. If Oryou-san gives her approval, I'll act like a man. I'll help Keiichi-kun. Does everyone here agree? Aye!
But you're not going to help him persuade Oryou-san.
Fine. I'll come with him to persuade Oryou-san. The way he talks might be too immature for her. She needs someone who can talk like an old person. My gosh. I'm sorry for being so disrespectful today. I really have to apologize, everyone. Don't worry. You said some good things. You broke up the collusion in one fell stroke. Your refusal to cave under pressure is the very pride of Inamizawa itself. I'm sorry for hitting you. I got pretty riled up. No, that was my fault. You did a good job too, Chie-sensei. You're a wonderful teacher. I really didn't know that some people were still bitter toward the Hojo family. Probably, Oryou-san is the most bitter of anybody. However, according to Mion, Oryou-san doesn't hate the Hojo family either. Really, the whole thing was ridiculous. Good for you, Maebara-san. I never thought you'd get the town council on your side. No, I don't have them on my side just yet. I need to persuade Mion's grandmother first. Oryou-san is like a dictator around here, but she won't do anything that would make her lose the trust of the villagers. If you've already settled things with the town council, then it'll be hard for the Sonozakis to oppose you alone. You're such a great negotiator. You insulted them at the start, but then you gradually buttered them up. I did it the way my dad writes articles for his art magazine. That's the same style he uses. Oh, Your father set a good example for you, huh? He's an artist, isn't he? I'd love to see his work someday. Well... My dad doesn't even let me see his work. I guess he can't show it to him either. I'm pretty sure Keiichi's dad is like a doujin artist. There's a game for it now? Hi, that average girl, welcome. I think it started as a game. Pretty sure Higurashi's been a game first. Hi, Assault Shaker, welcome, how are you? What kind of dirty pictures is he drawing? Well then, let's go and see Oryou-san tomorrow night. We can't go right away. Once she gets into a bad mood, she'll never listen to us. Doing good just chillin'? Glad to hear it. Hope you have a restful chillin' time. I'll be coming along too. Who else is going? I'm coming too. Rana-san is also coming. She said she'd cleave her head apart if she doesn't nod it for us.
I'm not going to do that. Don't be mean, Shi-chan.
I'm going too, Keiichi. I'll talk to Oryou myself. I see. Give her a piece of your mind. Of course, I plan to myself as well. I'll try and be there too. I might be able to help by just being around. This sure is getting interesting. Are you ready to defeat that evil hag, sis? To be honest, I wish you'd swap with me tomorrow.
Keiichi-kun, you've made great progress today.
Yeah, the more people we have on our side, the stronger we become. We can save Satoko if the whole village gets together. This village once won against the national government, after all. The old people seem to be proud to hear me talk about the dam conflict. The green hairs are evolving. There's 2 of them. Everyone started talking about all the heroic things they did back then.
I thought we never could save Satoko, but that fate is reaching its end. The power we have right now is overwhelming. The power to defeat fate is far stronger than the mere chance of alignment of a few coincidences.
Off to go fight with an old lady. Let's go. The next evening, we were all gathered at the Sonozaki residence. I thought we'd be talking with Mion's grandma over tea or something. However, it wasn't so relaxed a situation as that. Mion's grandma stayed in her futon. She was propped up against a huge cushion, and it made me feel like I was about to talk to a queen. That wasn't the only thing either. There were about 5 members of the Sonozaki family surrounding her, as though I was at some kind of Yakuza gathering. Yes, this wasn't just any old town council meeting. It was a meeting of the 3 families. I kind of felt as though I didn't belong, but I also didn't have the time to be afraid. If I could persuade this lady, I could get help from the villagers. So that's the situation. If the town council doesn't change their current stance, then no matter what Keiichi-kun says past this point, the center won't listen to him. At the very least, the town council needs to declare their neutrality. The mayor was the first to speak. The old woman looked very grave. I couldn't tell if she always wore an expression like that, or if the story made her look that way. She made a comment in a very low voice to her people. The lady wearing a kimono spoke for her instead. She must be Mion's mother. Oh, there's 3! The Child Consultation Center is simply doing their job. They understand how much you care about her and are going to take your appeal into consideration. What more are you expecting from them? Mom, let me explain this to you. Satoko's uncle is a horrible man. He regularly beat Satoko last year, and I'm sure he's even worse this time around because of his lover up and abandoning him. Didn't you investigate him, Kasai? Teppei Hojo, I mean. I did make such a report to Akane-san. You see, Mom? If we let the Child Consultation Center take care of this, it'll take months for them to save Satoko. I can't let her stay with that jerk for that long. She's not going to die. Stop making such a big fuss over this. The old lady finally spoke, but she didn't have anything pleasant to say. She might not die, but...
Then shut up, you idiot. Worse, you're not even willing to risk your own life over this. Grow a backbone, you twit. What nonsense. The more I listen, the more nonsense I hear.
Wow. So that's why the whole village is afraid of her. This was Oryou Sonozaki, known variously as the Hag or Empress Sonozaki.
Oryou, Satoko is my friend. I want you to save her. Rika-chama, remember what I've told you all this time. You have to choose your friends carefully. That girl is the demon child of the Hojo family. I'm disappointed in you too, Dr. Irie. Aren't you old enough to realize what you're doing?
Satoko-chan is the daughter of the Hojo family, but she's not the one who supported the dam project and fought against the village. I think it's unfair for you to judge her that way.
Shut up! Who do you think you're talking to, you piece of crap? Are you sure that she's willing to forgive Satoko-chan?
That's what Mion told me. I think I get where the other villagers are coming from now. You look like you have something to say, Keiichi-kun. You should just let it out. I made eye contact with Mion's mom. She's very pretty, but she was wearing the same grave look as Oryou. By then, I had no doubts that this was Mion's mother. I don't mind talking. Is it really okay, though? Go ahead. You came all this way here to the Sonozaki residence. You should speak if you want to. Rena nodded in agreement. Okay. Oryou Sonozaki-san. My name is Keiichi Maebara. I moved here not too long ago. Nice to meet you.
I already know a great deal about you.
Let me tell you something. When your family moved to this village, you didn't come here to introduce yourself. If the moms are yandere like them, I'd say there's no saving grace for them anytime soon. I certainly hope she's not. This is kind of the first time we've met her, really, so I don't know anything about her. That left a pretty bad impression. Why was Mion only telling me that now? Sure hope I'm not too late to introduce myself. Leave aside the fact that it's Satoko Hojo for a minute. The important thing to note is that a villager is in danger right now. In order to help that person, we have no choice but to make an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. Besides, I'm doing all of this of my own accord. I haven't caused you any trouble. But you heard from the mayor that you've been causing trouble, didn't you? The Hinamizawa Town Council and the Shishibone City Hall are working together. The Shishibone mayor and the virago here had a talk with each other, and they decided to coexist. That was necessary for this village to prosper. But that village is going to let an innocent girl suffer? Didn't you hear what I just said? No one is going to just let her suffer. The consultation center will take action when appropriate. You want them to hurry up, but frankly, you're being selfish. The town council and the government officials are in a business relationship. They're treating Satoko's issue like it's an ordinary one. So basically, you're saying that you don't care how much danger Satoko's in right now. Like Mion just told you, Teppei's a horrible person. When Satoko showed up at school 3 days after she was kidnapped, she was already at her wit's end. After only 3 days. I can't even imagine what would happen if we left her alone with him for a month. There's no guarantee that she'll be saved after that either. At that point, they might decide to put her case on hold again. Miss Sonozaki, the emotional damage she's suffering... Oh, does the emotional damage she's suffering not matter at all to you? So what do you think we should do? I'm making an appeal to the Child Consultation Center, asking them to save her as soon as possible. I'm going to continue going to the center until they do. Well then, there you go. You could just continue your appeal. It's none of the Sonozaki's business. Isn't that enough? Dang it! She's so hard-headed! It was easy to win an argument with the old people in the assembly hall since they got agitated so quickly. But Akane-san, Mion's mom, is way tougher than that. Both of the Sonozaki sisters and their grandma are quick to anger, but Akane-san seems incredibly calm. She was calm, but still full of animosity. But I can't continue our appeal anymore. If the town council doesn't tell the officials that they're going to support us, the Child Consultation Center won't listen to us at all. Did you hear that, Mom? We can't just do whatever we want. We need the town council to decide whether they're going to support us or not. Actually, the council's already made their decision. They said they'd support us as long as Granny agreed. Who the hell made that decision behind my back? You're all aware of how the Hojo family acted during the dam conflict, aren't you? If you're asking me to forgive them, my answer is still no. Is she translating?
I'm not really familiar, actually. What were Satoko-chan's parents like? Her mom was like a stronger version of Satoko. Her dad was, well, Teppei's older brother. He was even stronger and scarier than Teppei.
Scarier than Teppei? That's not very funny. I see. Now I'm starting to understand how they clashed with the Sonozaki family. I guess she hasn't forgotten how much they pissed her off. You're saying it out loud so we can hear. My children have told me a lot about you. I heard that you're one courageous boy. Let me tell you this straight up. We'll be satisfied as long as the old lady in the futon just nods her head. I'm not expecting you all to get involved in our protest. All I need is for her to nod. And if she still says no? I'd smash her head in and make me on the new family head so she can nod for us. That's crazy.
What did you just say?
Someone bring me a sword. I'll cut him into pieces and dump him in the well. Are you ready for a fight, old lady? Whatever you ate tonight will be your last supper. Shut up! Do you even know who you're talking to? The evil hag sent a violent glare my way, the intimidating aura surrounding her becoming almost visible. Normally, I'd be terrified. However, I can't back off today. Satoko doesn't have much time left. Everyone here knows that. The mom has animosity despite being she's chilled. That's the first warning sign for me. She's definitely scarier than the old lady. We all know that she'll be forever damaged in only a few more days. We would then cry and lament our powerlessness. We have to fight as best we can so that we have no regrets. There could be no limits to how far we'd go to save her. Let me make this clear. Satoko is my friend. I'm fighting for her sake. How about you? I heard that you used to be like that. You once fought, you and the whole village, just to save one villager. Isn't that how strongly you rejected the dam project? You're just an outsider. Wait a minute, old lady. I'm not an outsider. I'm Keiichi Maebara from Hinamizawa. I'm fighting to save my friend who's also from Hinamizawa. How could you say that I'm an outsider? Oryou-san, Maebara-kun came to this village not too long ago, but he's already adapted to our way of life. He's a young man with a lot of promise. Since when did you think disrespect is the same as promise, Dr. Irie? Someone bring me my medicine and tea already. All this blood rushing to my head is making it ache. The man on the far end stood up and brought over some tea and medicine. If you think I'm being disrespectful, then let me make this request properly. We want the Sonozaki family's help in order to save Satoko Hojo. Satoko lives in this village too. Moreover, she's my friend. Please help us. As I deeply bowed my head to her, my friends bowed along with me. Keiichi-kun, raise your head. What shall we do, Mother? It's none of my business. What are you expecting out of me? Satoko-chan is like family to Keiichi-kun. It's only natural for him to seek help for his family. Mom! However, the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family were enemies. They once disparaged Mother in public, too. We can never forgive them for doing that. This is an issue of distinction. What do you mean, distinction? They would need to make an apology. However, the parents died in an accident. There's no one else who can apologize to us. Forgiveness won't come cheap.
So if she apologizes to you, you'll forget about what her family did?
The world we live in is one of honor. If she apologizes to us, we'll have no choice but to forgive her. Are you going to make Satoko-chan apologize?
Sure. I'll make her apologize for what her parents did. Her parents can't be there to do so, but you'll still forgive her, won't you?
We'll have to see before we make our final decision. But I suppose we could say that we'll forgive her.
What do you think, Oryou-san? What if Satoko-chan apologizes to you about the dam conflict?
Why does she look like that? Well, I'll think about that when she apologizes to me. I won't lie, Rena with the sailor hat is cute. She is cute. I might forgive her. If she really did. She laughed, obviously thinking that Satoko would never actually apologize to her. It seemed for a moment as though Rena had compromised in mind. However, Rena always has a plan up her sleeve.
But if she apologized to you, would you apologize to her for discriminating against an innocent girl who didn't deserve to be treated that way?
Huh?
Satoko-chan wasn't the one supporting the dam project. She's just the child of those that did. But you hate her just for her last name. You're not just an ordinary old lady in this village. You hold great influence over the people here because you're the leader of the Sonozaki family. Your public hatred towards Satoko-chan had a huge impact on the way the village thinks. That became clear with the town council, too. Everyone is afraid to interact with the Hojo family because of how much you hated them.
Hate, rather. You're the mother of all Hinamizawa. You were instrumental in keeping us all afloat in the difficult times after the war. It's only natural that you hold such great influence over the people here. You're aware of how much your decisions can affect the whole village. Let me say this again. Satoko is my friend. She's my family. If your influence is going to cause us trouble, I will do battle with you. That's what protecting your friends is all about. I'm impressed to hear that from a city boy like you. Let me ask what the other family members think. Well, how about it, everyone? What he's saying does make sense. The problem between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family is not his business, but he's clear about how much he wants to save her. There wouldn't be any problem if she wasn't a child of the Hojo family. They could do whatever they want to. We as a family can just stay neutral. Don't you agree? No, apparently that's not enough, everyone. The big scary man in sunglasses spoke with a deep voice. Oh gosh. I don't know if I can do that. He's saying that the town council won't support them unless the Sonozaki family agree to it as well. And without the support of the council, the center won't listen to them either. We need to be clear about our decision on this one. What do you think? Keiichi-kun, you're a stronger man than my daughters have led me to believe. Frankly, I've had to change my opinion of you. You're a man among men. Hello? Are you Mion's father? I thought he was the boss of a Yakuza clan or something. Wait, I did hear once that her dad is exactly that. He certainly looks the part. It's partly our fault that your friend is struggling. Her parents aside, she's just an innocent girl. Isn't that right, Mother? Who even cares? Anyone who bears the Hojo name is an ungrateful little brat. He even told me a few minutes ago that he's going to smash my head in. Someone like that doesn't deserve to be called a man among men. Mother, can we help Keiichi-kun this one time? He's a passionate young man. Not many youngsters these days have that kind of inner strength. Granny, please! We need your help. Satoko's my friend, too. I deeply respect how you fought for this village. I want to fight like you, for my friend. I'm asking for your help, too. Satoko is my family. She's a little sister to me. Please, please give us your help. Upon seeing the twins bowing so deeply, the stubborn old woman simply stared at them with a grave look of hers. I figured it would be difficult to get her to cooperate with us. The mayor looked troubled, too. Mion's grandma eventually turned her gaze to me, and I stared back at her. I already bowed to you once, so I'm not going to do that again. But let me say it just one more time. Please, help us. Satoko is my friend, and she's one of the villagers. She was never disrespectful to you. You have no reason to hate her. If I nod my head, what happens next? Once the council is on our side, the consultation center will have to hear us out. If they still don't listen, then we'll go there again. We'll go there with the whole village. I'm not gonna lie, Keiichi in this CG kind of looks like a frog. Tomorrow is Saturday. The consultation center is open in the morning. The villagers will all be gathering for the preparation of the festival then. So I'll just take them all along with me. That would be crazy. You'd be involving hundreds of people. How many people would come exactly? I don't know how many of them would, but I'd definitely go make a speech in front of all of them. How do things look to you, Mr. Mayor? Most of the council members are supporting them. Our relationship with the government is important, but some of them think it's more important to fight for Satoko-chan. That is, to resurrect the spirit of the Guardians. We all understand what Keiichi-kun is trying to do, and no one disagrees with him. So the whole village is united, even without Mother. But you're still seeking final approval from the Sonozaki family. That's a rather dirty way to do business. Akane-san. Oryou-san. To put it simply, I feel bad for Satoko-chan. She's doing the best she can, even though she's all alone. I think it's time for us to let her know that she won't be ostracized by anyone anymore. I refuse! I will never forgive the demon child of the Hojo family. Fine then. You're the enemy of my friend. That makes you my enemy. I'm gonna kill you right here. Mion, you could take her place and lend us your support then. I'm gonna kill this old bat right this minute. Oh, well. As I jumped up, her family members stood in my way. They all had their hands in their pockets. I don't want to imagine what they might pull out of there.
Ah! This is pissing me off! How dare you say that! I can't take this anymore!
Oryou, think of your blood pressure. I'm sorry, Rika-chama. Will you pass me that bag of medication? My veins really are going to burst. She was mumbling too much for me to tell what she was saying, but I could tell that she was furious. She whispered something into Mion's mother's ear. She spoke for her instead. I'm sorry, but this is it for tonight. She has a horrible headache and she can't talk with you any longer. But I still haven't gotten my answer! Keiichi-kun, you need to learn to play by the adults' rules. I've been very patient with you today. That's because you're a friend of my daughter's. You need to reflect on that, don't you think? Kei-chan, we've done enough for today. Let's get out of here. Based on Mion and Shion's reactions, Mion's mom is very scary when she's angry. They were convinced that their mom was going to explode in about 10 seconds. Still, should we really leave after just that? Dang it, I really want her to nod. If she gives me an answer tonight, I can gather a huge crowd tomorrow. The people at the Child Consultation Center were laughing at us today. We gradually increased the number of people we had until the 3rd day, but on the 4th we had far less. They must think that we won't show up at all within a couple of days. No matter what, we can't stop showing up. How many days has it been since she was taken by your uncle? We don't have a single day to waste. However, for tonight, the meeting was over. The old lady went to sleep and we were kicked out of the room. Even though the rest of us were forced to leave, the mayor stayed behind to wrap things up. We decided to wait in the yard for him to come back out. Dang it! We were almost there!
You said everything you needed to say. You have to give her time to think about it. Of course, we don't exactly have time to waste.
What do you think, Coach? Oryou-san was in a really foul mood. When she gets like that, she'll stay that way for at least 3 days. It might be difficult for us to take any villagers along for the protest tomorrow.
At least she listened to us until the end. We just have to trust that she'll make the right decision.
You're right. It's hard to trust in someone and just wait, though. Hey, everyone. You all did a good job in there. Even the death threats? I don't know about that one, Chief. Mion and Shion ran over to join us. Hey, you two did a good job, too. How was it? Do you think it'll work out? I have no idea. From the looks of it, she was in a terrible mood. Honestly, Kei-chan, I don't think you should ever come back here. What? So I can't ever hang out at your house again? Jeez. Still, that was really impressive, Kei-chan. You didn't even seem scared. Was she that scary? She had a scary look on her face, sure, but it wasn't that bad. You can only say that because you don't know how scary she really is. Well, as they say, ignorance is bliss.
That's not true. I think he would have fought for her even if he did know how scary she could be.
Speaking of which, you seem fine when she yelled at you too, Ryugu-san.
She might have raised her voice, but she wasn't actually angry. I wasn't scared at all. At all either. Not at all.
Did she really not look angry to you?
No, your grandmother wasn't angry at all.
Is that really how it looked to her? To me, it looked like her head was going to explode. The next moment, I heard someone walking towards us. It was the mayor who was accompanied by Mion's mother. Oh, Uncle Kimiyoshi. How was it? Did the old witch finally start melting? Ha 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 ha. Well, we got her approval.
What?
You mean... The Virago gave you the green light. You can do whatever you want now, Keiichi-kun. Are you serious? But why? Is that really true, Mom? The hag was so ticked off, though. I can't even imagine what caused her to grant us permission. No matter how it happened, I guess she accepted me in the end. The Virago gave approval for the town council to support Keiichi-kun. Now you have the Onigafuchi Guardians on your side. With them, there's no way you can lose. But you can't put up a disgraceful fight either. You only just moved into the village, but you need to understand and appreciate the history of Hinamizawa. Can you take on this responsibility? Yes, I can! My, you're a brave boy. You do have my respect. It takes great courage to address the Virago like that. It gave me chills when you jumped on top of her and put your hands around her throat. Well, I almost did jump on her, but I wasn't actually serious. Listen for a moment. You jumped on top of her and nearly choked her to death. That's how it was going to be. Why? That's so violent. The Virago can't possibly forgive the Hojo family. She also can't possibly give you what you want simply because you came to her and begged for it. So unless the story goes something like, after Keiichi-kun violently fought with the Virago, she was impressed by his chivalry and decided to grant him special permission, it won't sound convincing. Got it, Mion? Yeah, that sounds great.
Things can't just be simple with her, huh?
Ha! This is how a legend is born. Now people will believe that you physically fought with a hag in order to save Satoko. People are going to be afraid of you, Kei-chan.
This is the beginning of the legend of Keiichi the Strongest. Everybody will run and hide when they see you on the streets.
I don't want to be a legend. But anyway, thank you very much. You don't need to thank me. The town council made the decision. We can't go against their wishes. In fact, we would have preferred if you just ignored us and went ahead with things. That was a dirty move of yours, Mayor Kimiyoshi-san. No, well, I'm glad she gave us her approval after all that. The Virago always worried about Satoko-chan, because people were still treating her poorly. She thought that she could only make everything right with her death. But thanks to all of you, she was able to settle the issue before the end. I'm sure she appreciates it. No, we're very thankful to her as well. I'll have to come here again to thank her in person. That's not a good idea. She'll chase you around with a sword next time. In fact, I'm surprised she didn't do that today. She must be fond of you, Keiichi-kun.
I thought so too. Oryou's even more fond of using her sword.
Rika-chan, don't say that with such a big smile. I'm glad I'm still alive. I've grown fond of you too after today. That's what being a man is all about. Satoko-chan is a very lucky girl, having such a dedicated man as you. Wait, Mom! Satoko and Kei-chan aren't like that! Oh, they're not? If he doesn't have a girl yet, then you two have a chance! Hey, Keiichi-kun, between Mion and Shion, which do you prefer? You could call me your mother from now on if you'd like. Wild. Mion and Shion simultaneously turned red and hit me with their fist and their elbow. The apple sure doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? Their mom talks just the same way they do. Well, Keiichi-kun, you managed to successfully persuade Oryou-san. Just as we promised, you have the council support. We'll call the people in charge tomorrow and let them know. And of course, I'll tell them to take Satoko-chan under their protection as soon as possible. We have Oryou-san's support too. I'm sure Satoko-chan will be rescued shortly after my call. Are you serious? You just managed to persuade someone that important, Kei-chan? So, Satoko-chan really will be safe this time tomorrow? We can't say that for sure. If they refuse Uncle Kimiyoshi's request, that means the Onigafuji Guardians will come after them. He's normally a calm guy, but he's like a monster when he becomes the leader of the Guardians, aren't you, Uncle? I'll be a monster if I have to. I can promise you that. I'll do my best to ensure that Satoko-chan is rescued as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Also, will you please stop ostracizing Satoko just because of who her parents were? We heard you say bad things about her, you know. Something about how she was a member of a cursed family. I was just saying those things because of other people. I don't personally have anything against her.
Then quit saying it, alright? Please accept her just as another child of the village.
Of course. I'll never say that again. I promise you that. I'm afraid Keiichi-kun might throttle me too. You know, I think him saying stuff about Satoko in game... What was it? Like 5? 4 or 5 is what got him killed. So, good for you. After that, we started heading back home. Satoko still isn't saved. But I think we made huge progress today just the same. The mayor is going to call the Child Consultation Center tomorrow to let them know that he's on our side. He's also going to persuade them to save Satoko as soon as possible. He'll bring up Oryou-san's name too.
Is Satoko really going to be rescued from fate?
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She might even be saved tomorrow. If not, we'll go all out next time. It'll be the war to end all wars. Also, Rika-chan.
Meep?
Don't use words like fate anymore. Putting it like that, it's like it's already been decided. But see, nothing is actually decided in advance. We're the ones who make our own futures. So stop using the word fate as if there's nothing we could do. Rika seemed to think about what I said for a while. I wondered for a moment if I said something that hurt her feelings, but Rika-chan soon smiled at me. That's not a smile.
Okay, I'll do what you say. I won't use that word anymore. You told me you could change fate as easily as tearing a piece of paper. And after 100 years, you're about to break the horrible cycle of Teppei's return. I can now believe that the danger that awaits me is something that can be changed as well. The worst thing that could ever happen is you not moving to Hinamizawa. I experienced that twice in the past 100 years. Those were the saddest worlds of all.
Huh? I don't understand a thing that just came out of your mouth. You're trying to confuse the issue, aren't you?
Meep. That's a secret. I'll do just as Keiichi says. I won't use words like fate anymore.
Interesting. So there's times when Keiichi doesn't move here. That's crazy. Hello, thank you for calling. You've reached Shishibone City Hall. Hello. Excuse me, could you get me the local affairs chief from the social welfare department? Of course. Please hold. Thank you for calling. This is the local government section. Hello. May I speak to the head clerk, Aida-san? Hello, Kimiyoshi-san. Thank you very much for the other day. No, it was no problem. Really, I should be thanking you. I'm much obliged. The head clerk is right here. I'll give him the phone. Sir, it's Kimiyoshi, the head of the city Hinamizawa Town Council. Hello. How may I help you today? Well, I'm calling about that case at the Child Consultation Center. Oh, yes. A group of young children have been protesting in front of the office. They're such an inconvenience. I'm so glad we were able to talk to you about that. So how did it turn out? Well, the village has officially decided to support Mayabara-kun. Excuse me. Could you say that again? The town council agrees with what Mayabara... I can't read. The town council agrees with what Mayabara-kun is doing. The younger people in the council want to support him as best they can. Well, I say younger, but they're in their 50s and 60s. Ha ha ha. I see. However, what are the other council members saying? Well, we held an emergency meeting last night. Some of the more hard-headed members were against it at first, but they were persuaded by Mayabara-kun in the end. You know, we don't see young people with that much backbone these days. In my opinion, attitudes like that ought to be nurtured for the sake of a brighter future. So, everyone on the town council has reached a consensus? Yes, that's right. Everyone came to an agreement. Nobody's opposed to supporting him. Kimiyoshi-san, as I explained to you, the people of the Child Consultation Center are doing the best they can. However, they cannot render their final judgment before the investigation period is over. It is a human rights issue. I believe Mayabara-kun explained it to them many times. Satoko-chan is being locked up by a terribly violent man. The emotional scar she's suffering will never heal. She will forever have a deep wound in her pure and innocent heart. Remember what they were saying at the youth seminar the other day? You were there with me, weren't you? Yes, well... What does the Sonozaki family say about this? Well, Oryou-san also agrees with us. She was very clear about that. If you're going to insist on not rescuing Satoko-chan, the whole village will be joining Mayabara-kun's movement. Oh, Oryou Sonozaki said that? Well, this is a problem within the family, so it's very hard for the government to take care of it. If I could see the man, I'd talk to him in person, but he rarely even leaves his house. Besides, if one of us personally said something to him, he might get nervous and hurt Satoko-chan even more. That's why the local government has to get involved. I understand your point. I'll call Sonozaki-san in a moment and ask for her opinion too. I'd advise you not to do that. Oryou-san is very upset right now. I really wouldn't call her for some time. Really? That's not good. When she's mad, it's like she turns into a demon. Anyway, I want you to tell the Child Consultation Center to put Satoko-chan under their protection immediately. I'll come with you if you need me to. We can go right now. Oh no, I can't make you go through all that trouble. I'll call the Child Consultation Center and give you their feedback later today. I want you to let me know before noon. I'm sure your call won't be so long it stretches into the evening. Is the head of the office that busy? No, he's not. Very well. I'll call you back before noon today. Thank you very much. Tell them that the town council is very upset because they're not taking this appeal seriously enough. Yes, I'll let them know. Yes, I'll talk to you again soon. Click. Sir, are you okay? This is bad. Hinamizawa village is kicking up a storm again. Saito-kun, will you please call Sonozaki-san and ask her what's going on? I need to call the Child Consultation Center. This might be a resurrection of the dam conflict. Oh, hello. Yes, this is the local government section calling. May I speak to the head of the office? The Hinamizawa Town Council is supporting them. I thought you told me they weren't connected to this. I did. When they spoke to the mayor the other day, they weren't involved. However, they changed their stance just last night. I understand. However, we're still not going to reverse our decision, even if the whole village really does show up. It wouldn't be right to give her special treatment just because the town council protests. Sir, I believe you're aware of this, but they're the Onikafuchi Guardians. You know about the dam conflict, right? I wasn't living here then, so I don't know much about it. I heard that it was some huge government protest or something like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you should pay attention to what they're saying. But wait a minute. I heard that the Onikafuchi Guardians disbanded years ago. Haven't you had a fairly close relationship with the village ever since the conflict ended? Yes, things had worked out smoothly. I wonder what happened to change that overnight. The mayor seemed to be favoring a young man named Mayabara-kun. They have the support of Sonozaki-san, too. It's not a trivial matter. Sonozaki-san? You mean the ruler of the underside of Hinamizawa? I've never actually met her. At any rate, you need to be very careful. If it's at all possible, I think you should try to protect Hojo-san immediately. I'm not familiar with this mayor, so I don't know what kind of person he is. Our job needs to be done carefully, and no matter the job, it's just not right to do things in a disorderly fashion. Our people are doing the best they can. They have piles of other cases to work on. Every single case is important. We can't just prioritize our case for no reason. I see. I understand. But they gave you reasons. My guy just making excuses. I'll call Kimiyoshi-san back and let him know your opinion. You need to call him back. Look, the municipal government doesn't exist for this town council's amusement. Why are you bending over backwards just to look after the needs of one village? I understand. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. This is really bad. That guy isn't even from around here. He has no idea how scary that town council can be. There's a transfer from the prefectural office for you. He's fighting against Inamizawa. I refuse to be responsible for this one. How did you do? Did you get to talk to Sonozaki-san? Yes, she has the same opinion as Kimiyoshi-san. She also wants a call from you regarding what the Child Consultation Center said. No, this is really bad. I thought this was going to be a happy Saturday. The head of the consultation center has no idea what he's up against. There's going to be a huge crowd swarming the area by the beginning of the week. We have to call Kimiyoshi-san and Sonozaki-san right away, huh? Should I help with that too? Before anything else, we should be calling the mayor of Shishibone. It's time to cause some chaos, holy. Are there new tips? No new tips. No tips! Okay. Well, we shall swap over to drawing now.